Welcome back to part 2. We will be covering the last of the 3 books found on the PTR, and then collecting all of our thoughts and theories as to what this means for the future. Is this really the next expansion being revealed right in front of us? Or something more? Let's begin by covering the final book. It is titled The Legend of Elun'Ahir. As we gather to defend Yggdrasil, we cannot help but recall the tragic fates of world trees past, those lost to sacrifice, to corruption, to flame. Yet there is an ancient tale, some claim it's merely a legend, that tells of an earlier world tree that also met with a sorrowful fate. Though it lived only a short time, its legacy endures. Long before the first dragons drew breath, Azeroth was conquered by writhing horrors that plummeted from the skies and infested our world, the old gods. How long the reign of their Black Empire lasted, we cannot know. Surely it must have been a time of unimaginable suffering. But at long last, there came hope. The brave Titan Agramar discovered Azeroth, shining like a beacon in the great dark. As he gazed upon the beauty and power of its slumbering soul, he realized it was imperiled. He told the other members of the Pantheon how the world they sought had been corrupted by the old gods. The Titans gathered to eradicate this dark influence. Seeking to bring hope and healing, our patron Titan Eonar carried a gift given to her by Elune, a branch of Gahanir, the mother world tree. The Titan believed that the influence of life would drive the darkness away, so she reached down her hand and shaped the soil of Azeroth, planting the branch where it could be fed by river and sky. The branch swiftly grew into a tree, its roots extending deep below the surface. Eonar smiled, for everywhere the roots stretched, new life emerged. She called the tree Elun'Ahir, in honor of her great love. When Aman'Thul saw what Eonar had done, he chided her. "This is not order," he bellowed. "You have infected this world with uncontrolled chaos." The High Father took hold of the world tree's trunk and tore it from the earth. Eonar wept bitter tears that rained down upon the resulting crater. But as she peered down upon the sundered earth, the Titan realized a truth she did not share with the High Father. Though he had destroyed the tree, its winding roots still held firm beneath the soil, hidden from Aman'Thul's gaze. As the forces of the Titans waged war against the Black Empire, Eonar bid her keeper Freya to watch over the crater and nurture the life that blossomed there. Below ground, the roots fed upon the tears of Eonar and grew strong. The war was long, but in the end, the Titans claimed victory, and Eonar was pleased, knowing Elune's legacy would endure. It is said that much later, as the world entered a new age, mysterious guardians arrived who dedicated their lives to protecting the roots. But that is a tale for another time. Now let us stand with our allies to defend Yggdrasil, crown of harmony. Together, we will preserve this symbol of hope, this symbol of the future. This one singular book opens the way for so many possible theories as to what it really means. It has spawned some lengthy discussions for us at the campfire. So let's have a look at its main ideas and what we feel they're telling us. The first idea put forth is that of an ancient world tree, one long before those that we already know. It seems that the world trees have always suffered a terrible fate on Azeroth, and I do not think it is coincidence. We know the world trees are directly connected to the health of Azeroth itself. The attacks on these trees and attempts to wrest control of it are attacks on Azeroth itself. The next part they quickly gloss over is the Black Empire. While the storyteller of this legend admits they have no real knowledge of the time of the Empire, they surmise it must have been a place of suffering. But is this because it is true? Or is this because that is what they have been told? In the Lorebooks of Uldaman, we see from Odin himself that he ordered the other Titanforge to erase any mention of advancements of the Black Empire. He has perpetuated the belief of it being a time of only suffering. Now, we have seen this suffering for ourselves, but perhaps there was more to it than meets the eye. We then see that Elun'Ahir was seemingly responsible for planting this very first world tree on Azeroth. She had hoped that life would force the darkness of the void back, much like Fandral and the elves did countless millennia later, to try and temper the blood of Yogg-saron. It came from a tree called Gaha'nir, a tree we are all familiar with, and said to be the domain of Aviana, a tree that had seemingly died and later restored with Aviana's rebirth. I mention this to call out its importance for later. The naming of it as a Mother World tree is highly significant. I would like you to bear it in mind as we continue. Aman'Thul then wrenches the tree from the surface, saying that life is chaos, once again calling back to the previous Lorebooks where Odin refers to it as chaos also. But its roots survive beneath the ground, nurtured by Elun'Ahir's tears? So taking all of this information, here is our theory on what really happened in those ancient days. When the Titans found Azeroth, they sensed inside one of the most powerful or unusual world souls they had ever encountered. One that would ensure Order's victory over the other forces for all time, should it be sufficiently coerced. But all would not be so simple. The old gods, dark agents of the void, had claimed it first. They were feasting and corrupting on the planet. However, not all of it. It is our belief now that some life existed outside of the Black Empire's dominion, continents outside of their reach who lived alongside them. Elun'Ahir would then turn to Elune, who gifted her a branch from the great tree Gaha'nir. This mother tree is not Yggdrasil, a world tree, which would be the lifelands themselves. Instead, each world has its own mother tree, a connection to the pure chaos of life, a gateway through which life can flow into the world. Imagine with me for a moment that life magic spans the entire universe through an ever-vast root system with these trees as their gateways. Imagine a universe-sized network mirrored both above and below, a reflection of the same great tree, one of life and one of death. Think Elune and the Winter Queen. But as the tree roots grew down into the world, the old gods sensed an opportunity, the strongest and most powerful of them corrupting the tree, swallowing it whole and making it a part of himself. They fed upon its power, and this is what caused Aman'Thul to rip it up from the world. We feel that the ripping out of the tree and the ripping out of Y'Shaarj were one and the same event. That is what wounded the world of Azeroth. It was a last resort to stop him from growing beyond the power of the Pantheon, fueled by the chaotic energy of life. Then, as we know, they created the Well of Eternity to stopper the wound. However, unbeknownst to Aman'Thul, some roots remained. When the legend says that the tears of Eonah would nourish them, they are talking about her creating the wellsprings, places where life still flourished. From these roots she created wellsprings imbued with arcane energies to order the life that flowed forth. In places like Ungoro Crater, or Shalazar, and even the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. But she did not stop there. Even in the dreams she created a wellspring and built a temple around it. The same wellspring temple from patch 10.2, where the new boss Nimue is actually located. Here the arcane energy gives form to the chaos of life. The powerful energies that emanate from these locations, tempered by order magic, cause the surrounding creatures to evolve, like the Pandaren, the Night Elves and the Jinyu. Many long years later, Tyr would employ the same method of infusing water to alter the dragons after the disaster that was caused by Galakrond. Through the use of this water facility beneath Tyrhold, he would alter dragonkind forever to suit his needs. But not all of these roots could be purified or nourished. Some would fall still to the dark machinations of the old gods. They would taint the dream with them, creating a gateway tree of their own from which to spread their infection. We would come to know this place as Thros, the Great Convergence, through which they made the nightmare. The old gods built a makeshift corrupted door. This is why the nightmare continues to pervade. How the Drust gained access to Ardenweald. One fact that links this all together, at least for me, is actually in Yasharaja's Most Faithful. The Klaxi and their unique relationship with their life-giving Kaipari trees. Ancient and unnaturally strong trees from the old days. The Klaxi even have a working relationship and understanding with the sprites that were the caretakers of them. Could they have been brought forth in a great world tree, then uplifted by the blood of the old god that seeped inside it? Of course, this is only our theory on how these events really played out, but we love hearing your theories on the subject too. So tell us in the comments, or come tell us on Discord. Either way, a huge thank you for all the support. Oh, and don't forget to come back anytime.